welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, tell a friend. Oh my God, we're back. This is a quick turnaround, and we hope that you continued on with us again today. Alrighty, so on the docket we have Speaking Sister Wife Season 4, Episode 4. Three is a crowd. My goodness. This was an interesting episode. The Epps and the Merrifields made it for me.
Right. The Foleys were hilarious. Like, cause old girl is not. She is. She's quite upset.
I don't care about Brenda's tears.
Me neither.
I
I'm glad.
don't.
I mean, ma'am, you were in the same position. So how are you mad? So we have the
Sorry.
Epps, the Merrifields,
The Foleys and the
and the Joneses, right?
Joneses. Let's
Okay.
do the Joneses first because they were the
Don't
most
care.
annoying. Exactly. Exactly. I don't care that you went to Costa Rica to meet up with your Filipino um uh girl toy, and she couldn't come because of COVID. What did you expect flying during COVID? Why didn't you try to fly to the Philippines or just wait?
Wait.
Just wait. So now they wasted even more money so that he could fly to the Philippines to meet her. He can't even come outright and say, "You want to share the same room as me?"
Right.
Tasha got to be the fucking interpreter for this. Like she's looking like a madam. She really is. Cause she found this girl, she hooked them up, and now she asking the girl, "You want to sleep in the same bed as my man?"
Right. Next.
Dumb. You think that girl gonna meet up with him though?
Nope. Mm-mm.
She doesn't even look that interested.
She looking like okay. Who I got next?
Does she fully understand what they're asking of her?
She acts like it, but I think she's got other people on the string.
And at one point, didn't it sound like Tasha was saying that he could spend a couple months over there and then spend a couple months over here?
Right.
So he's going to be flying back and forth?
Right. With no money.
Delusional.
Right.
Okay, who's next?
The Foleys.
The Foleys.
Don't care about Brenda's
Okay.
tears, like you just said, and here's why. Because, ma'am, you were once the third. You want see here was her problem. Here's Brenda's problem. She wanted to act like she was cool, like she was better than what's his name, Steven's first wife. She like, she tried to act like she was above and beyond the feelings that the
Mm-hmm.
first wife had, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's coming back to bite because you're not. You feeling some kind of way because this man had brought in someone half his age to be the girlfriend.
So wait a minute. Hold on. So here's what I'm getting from this, okay? So when she came in as a third for the first marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel she was behaving just like how April was.
She was
She
able,
wasn't
yeah,
di- she wasn't digging that woman. She was having her separate relationship with
yes.
he's Steve, right? Steve?
Steve,
Yes.
I think it's Steve.
Yeah. And so now it's like flashbacks on her. She
Right.
wants to be wanted. For
Mm-hmm.
what? Isn't it aren't they supposed to be having like separate relationships with him?
Like she wants, like she would. Well, she feels like since he travels a lot, from what I understand, that she doesn't want to feel. She shouldn't feel like her sister. She shouldn't feel like she has a sister wife, but is lonely.
Right,
She
but here's the thing though. Have we not all watched the Browns for like 16 fucking seasons? Don't none of them wives like each other?
right, exactly. So her feelings I don't care about because you're being ridiculous at this point. Like if you could not handle this, you should not went into it. You thought you could handle it, but you cannot, and you're not communicating.
It's so weird.
And then when she's communicating, she's coming up as whiny, which doesn't make people open to her
It
feelings.
breaking down and going into the car. I don't want to cry on TV. And then breaking down at the dinner.
Yeah,
Why don't we have a connection? Because maybe you're not likable.
and like I'm
And
sorry, like
mm,
you're 38, she's 21. What do you expect?
But no, it's really weird though. April refuses to even like look at her, which is kind of disrespectful. If
True.
you're talking to her, you're only looking at Steve. Brenda has a point. You only go to Steve. Well,
Yep.
that's how Steve has cultivated his relationship with her.
True.
And that's what happens when you have sex too fast with a
That
21-year-old
too.
who's never been in a real relationship, you know. And this is your first real relationship, polygamy. Girl, you gonna need therapy,
She
April.
needs it. She needs it quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Brenda, as much as you think you're a veteran of this polygamous lifestyle, I think you've been alone in a monogamous relationship with Steve for too long.
Agreed.
Who's to think that she maybe thought maybe we've been together by ourselves for this long, he won't need somebody else, and now he does,
Right.
and she's really hurting. Oh
Exactly.
well, too bad, Brenda. Karma's a bitch.
Who next?
We did those two, so it's down to the Merrifield and the Eppses.
Let's go with the Epps.
Oh my God. Okay, so he invites Bina over, and India is like, I'm going to be the griller. I'm going to be interrogating. But Bina's not here for that. Bina's like, why are you so obsessed? And Taryn, she's just laughing because she got somebody on her side to go up against India. And Marcus is like, ooh, by the time we have sex, this is going to be real good because they are going to be all hyped up after arguing with each other. So this is going to be
Right.
real good for me. Ew. This has failure written all over it.
Huge F, because they're not on the same page.
But here's my thing, though. I kind of agree with India for calling out Bina's reasons for getting involved in the relationship because of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the reason to get into a
100%.
polygamous. I had to be on her side
100%.
with that. I don't know. And I felt like the way how Marcus was just sitting back and letting them go at it, he gets off on women fighting over him.
Exactly. It's an ego boost.
I didn't like it.
It's an ego boost. And India was correct because she's like, I want to see like if she's here for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And when she broke it down, I'm like, exactly, I agree. I was with India on this one. Marcus and Taryn like her because they're comfortable with her. They know her, so they're not looking at it from a neutral stance. Whereas India's like, I don't know you, we have no connection, so she can look at it from a more objective point of view and a more clinical point of view because she's about the facts. Like, why are you here? What are your expectations? What do you want? Or are you doing this for the right reasons?
She also made another good point when he was looking for that watch at the beginning of their segment. And she said, maybe you shouldn't have any more watches until you can, see the value in the ones that you have. Oop,
Mm-hmm.
oop, oop, oop.
Spot on.
I'm liking India.
I like her a lot, actually. She's my favorite of the three.
I hope she gets out of this situation unscathed because I don't see this whole thing ending well.
Mm-mm. Nope.
And Bina, how is you live in North Carolina? They live between Ohio and Florida.
Yes.
They're the ones in Ohio.
Yeah.
How is that going to work?
It's not.
Okay, now. Anything else with them?
Nope.
Last but not least, the Merrifield family. When Leah went for a walk with Garrett, I just felt like she was taking her toddler down to the playground.
Right.
Why is she the one asking all of the questions? If they are recruiting a third or fourth or whatever it is, like wouldn't you think, I have no idea about this, but my thought process was, if I am the originating couple and I'm looking to expand my sister wives, wouldn't I be the one asking all these questions? It feels like Leah is doing the interviewing instead of the Merrifields doing the interviewing. I'm not
I
saying
agree.
that Leah can't have no questions, but unless she is speaking, they're not talking. They're just there going, it's like watching an episode of Beavis and Butthead.
I agree. It's like they're just there for the ride.
Let me tell you something. I hope that Leah was well fed, that her airfare was paid for. Obviously, they paid for the Airbnb, but I hope that she guarded all of her credit cards while she was there, and that she, like, her ID or her identity isn't stolen afterwards. I just don't understand the reason for this meetup. It seems grossly awkward and uncomfortable. I see no chemistry between him and Leah. It's just weird. Because when you saw him see Roberta, his pants was on fire.
He couldn't wait.
He's almost scared of Leah. And that picture that they showed to prove that they kissed, I'm going to need, what's her name, Danielle, to stop producing their segment because she's not good at it.
Right.
And I hate his hat and boots. It makes him look like something from Toy Story.
Right.
Ciao. I don't have anything else left for them. It was just disappointing. But yeah, next week, who are we seeing next week? I don't know if I stayed for the preview for next week. But this needs to pick up.
It really does.
Hey, Nisei. It needs to pick up. This episode wasn't that great, except for the Epps segments. I hate to say this, but I wish we saw Nick. This episode wasn't that great.
Not at all.
All right. Well, Nisei, no, you just joined us, but we're basically done. I hope you tune in to watch us on the replay. Hi, replay gang. But yeah, that was it. That is Seeking Sister Wife Season 4, Episode 4. 3's a crowd. Brenda, boohoo. That's about it. So Jamal, any final thoughts on this episode?
No, we are good.
We are good. So, okay, guys, join us for the last of our 3 shows today. We are doing 90 Day Fiancé Lost in Paradise, which is on Discovery Plus. We watch it. Just in case you don't have Discovery Plus, we'll go through the torture for you. All right. So, Jamal, until the top of the hour?
Of course.
All right, y'all. Bye.